Sorry for that.
That's okay.
We can keep going.
I was coming from east to west back into Olympia, and so I imagine this was traffic coming from outside of Olympia into Olympia.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
People
know.
going to work probably.
But anyways, it took me way longer to get home than it did to get there, and so here we are.
And now we're
a
here
little late
talking to y'all, whoever's listening to this.
Yeah. Today I want to talk about coaching. I went to a seminar this weekend, so more about driving recently and doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to Bend this weekend and did a USPA Level 2 coaching seminar.
For reference, that's pretty far from here. That's like a 3-hour drive usually. Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple hours.
Yeah.
That was Saturday, and we started at 9, we went to about 2:30. That's not right. We started at 9, we went to about 1:40, and then took a lunch that was supposed to be an hour, but it was really closer to half an hour, 40 minutes. Anyways, and
oh my God, can I have him or her or it, please?
This took a turn.
Oh my God,
Mao,
please the kitten. Oh, you're
Where'd it come
such
from?
a good baby kitten.
mine.
Oh, you're so good.
Yeah, but you just
You're
pulled
so
it out of the
good.
backpack.
Hello.
He has a carrier.
Oh, cute.
Oh, I love
It
this so
actually breaks
much.
down into a big carrier too.
Oh, that's wow.
He's such a good
Technology in
boy.
2025
He
is
just loves
awesome.
people and other animals.
Hello.
Okay.
What's his name?
Toda.
Toda?
Toda.
Toda.
Alright.
Toda.
I love him.
Cute. Love it. Wow. Coaching.
Yeah.
We were there most of the day. We didn't leave until like 7. And I got to
Oh, he's so agile.
I got to learn a lot, which was kind of surprising because maybe that sounds bad. I learned more than I thought I would. Maybe that's a better way of saying that.
No, and I think that's totally fair. I think that a lot of people that coach or train would feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the kind of thing like you don't know what you don't know, right? And I love this concept because I, for a long time, have been like, wow, I know so much. And then I'll meet somebody new who knows way more than me. And I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm so dumb. And then I'll learn all the things that I can learn from that person. And I'm like, cool, I know a whole bunch of things again. And then I'll meet somebody else who's like, oh, I'm an idiot, you know? And so like, it's this constant wave. And this is what fitness is. Everybody thinks they know all the stuff they need to know until they realize.
What was really cool was like most of what we talked about wasn't even like what you would think. It wasn't like, hey, this is how you should move, right? Like, let's talk about how to squat, right? We did do that, right? That was towards the end. We did a practical section where it was, okay, let's take different coaches and have them warm up and do a thing. And then let's have coaches coach a coach and talk about coaching a coach. And so it was very meta conversation-y. And it was not necessarily like, okay, how do we program? Like, how much should your back cuffs be? Nothing like that. That was all like kind of assumed. And so this was more of a conversation of like how to approach teaching someone and trying to win a competition. And that was a lot of fun. And that's a side of powerlifting that like, I think if we represent two types of powerlifters, that is much more your side of powerlifting. Right? And so that was like a glimpse into that world a little bit for me. And that was like, it was fun to think about coaching on a more macro scale rather than like, how do I make this person successfully able to do these things and have fun? Versus how do I take this specimen of a human being and make them like a prodigy? Kind of thing.
It's a really cool, I like that they take this approach because there was a coaching seminar that some guys that I knew went to a long time ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago. And they came back with a lot of movement information. And I like that the USPA has changed this direction because at this point, it's hard to get good movement information, but everybody has some movement information, you know? And so and every ideology, I've said this to everybody, there are people who are objectively bad coaches, but everybody has something that they're telling you right. Everybody has something to offer. So every time they pick up a client, that client may be getting negative responses from this coaching program, but they're going to learn. The hardest part about being a coach, and the thing that I think makes you a good or bad coach, is being able to communicate what you want and need from a client and being able to take them to an event that they're trying to succeed at and being successful. knowing what they need for that. And a lot of coaches are decent coaches in the gym. When it comes to competition, just flatline their client.
Yes. I want to touch on a couple things that we talked about. I took some notes. I have them in my backpack somewhere out in the car. So I'm doing a lot of this off memory, but a few of the larger topics that were like in the presentation, if you will, because it was about, I'd say like 70-30, 70% information, like classroom style. Hey, let's talk about this.
Right.
And then 30% practical movement style stuff.
Okay.
And so that was really cool. And one of the prevailing things that you started with, this was the first thing you said, is communication.
Yep.
And we had a whole like set of slides talking about communication, verbal, nonverbal. Like it was really apparent to me how important it is to be able to communicate with a person. And that seems so intuitive. And of course, you need to be able to communicate. And the more information you give me, it's a two-way street. The more I can help you if you give me more information. Right. Data good. I think largely we on Hardcore Yappin tend to agree with that sentiment.
Yep. Data is the king.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought it was really interesting that communication is that high of a priority.
Well, like, so
even when the athlete is really good at the movement, like,
well, so like you're very good at communicating with your clients, like very, very good at it. But if I took on your clients, our communication style is very different, and that's an adjustment period.
Yeah.
And people who are successful lifters in the first place are going to have preset movement patterns. They're used to understanding something in a certain way. The way that they interpret their training is set in one way, and you're trying to reprogram that into what you believe to be a better method or a better plan of action.
Coaching somebody at a really high level, though, that's not often. You're working with, not often, but this is something we've touched on before, where the amount of intricacy required for a lifter starts very, very high. Like, we need to be very specific. We need to teach you foundationally, like, do the things right. Yeah. Great. Awesome. And then you get to the point where it's just kind of autopilot and you need to just put in a ton of work.
Yep.
Right. And then it's very like, here's the plan, do it.
Yep. Like,
it's step by step. Okay. But then you get to the other side of that and you've learned and done most of the gimmies. And so now you need to start getting creative again, and coming up with what works for you.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of that. And also, like, when you get out of this phase of let's work on the basics, right? So with people that I coach, I'll say, for example, the first year minimum is movement. You're bad at this. We're going to fix it.